Previously on Paisal.
The previous episode would be... so we went to watch Bumblebee. Before that, there was a whole discussion about... I don't know how to put it.
We discussed having our first kiss.
Yeah, that way. That's the way to say it.
Be interesting trying to edit this.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Doesn't have to be either.
Oh, no.
In this episode, we'll be talking about when we both started thinking more seriously.
So we had been seeing each other for 2 months, 3 months. My mum had asked me on a call whether I was seeing anyone. And I was like, yes, but I'll tell you later. So basically, I didn't want to say anything on a phone call. I wanted a way of introducing you to my mom and dad and my brother or whoever was close in my life, and sharing your story on who you are and what your life's been like and stuff like that.
So you chose to write it in a letter?
Yes, I'm not very good with verbal communication when it comes to, or at that stage I wasn't very good with verbal communication when it comes to emotional stuff, for lack of a better word. I had put a link to one of your blog posts, sent it to you saying that I had done this and I was going to use it to share it with my parents in order to share our relationship.
The specific blog post that you linked to was one of my open letters, which began with a statement. I'm Paige, and I'm a woman who has been through a gender transition that included psychological therapy, several medications, and surgical procedures. I explained a bit more about my situation in a very limited way. Where I used specific terminology, there were links to pages that had definitions or more information about that word. A big part of the letter was about boundary setting. It included a little bit about how to be an ally, and it ended with a section, questions and support, about how to get information, and specifically putting up the boundary of saying, don't come to me with questions about my experience if you have trouble, because I've actually already developed my own resources, and there are also great resources that other people have put together. Had you already read my books at that point? Maybe
this was after I had started reading and I had checked with you whether it was okay to continue reading the book. I had gotten through the beginning of the book and then realized there was a few things in there that seemed to me to be quite personal experiences, and I thought I'd better ask you if you were comfortable with me reading that stuff and letting you know that I'm reading that.
Both of those things I really appreciated. The fact that you started reading my books and then checked in with me to see that it was okay, it felt like a very big act of respect. And that was a part of helping me move past the feeling that people couldn't respect me or wouldn't respect me, especially men. When you put together the letter and checked it by me first, and that it included a link to my story in my own words, all of these things came together to communicate to me that you were going to treat me with dignity and respect, which was something that I really wanted.
I try to do that. I don't always succeed, but
it will be very interesting further down the track when we talk about some of the more dramatic stuff. I don't want to give too much away yet.
Such a tease.
We love teasing each other.
You can cut that out if you want.
Another thing that I saw through the letter was how we had a similar experience of expressing ourselves much better and much differently in writing. I don't know how much people in my childhood appreciated how quiet I was compared with how active my mind was and how deeply I thought about things, because I didn't know how to express that, or even if I was supposed to express some of the things that I thought about the world. All of that changed for me when I studied film, television, and theatre acting. Well, alcohol also helped push me forward in that direction for a time. For the 10, 20 years after that, I have done so many communications courses, so many courses to improve my ability to verbally express myself and to verbally express myself in the moment, which is also a very different thing to having something pre-prepared.
If I was to express that sort of thing verbally, it takes a while for me to go through formulating what I want to say. I don't know. The way I behave sometimes feels like I lack emotion. My voice is very monotone and very quiet. Yeah, I don't know.
I certainly know that you do not lack emotion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In case you didn't pick up on it yet, there's some drama coming up in future episodes. Drama we worked through, but drama nonetheless. It's quite interesting thinking back. I pointed out that I felt like there were two different versions of you early on. The text message version of you seemed warmer, more affectionate, a lot of things that people don't associate with the written word versus in person. In person, there was much less of that expression of affection and emotion. I remember we had a chat about it. Do you remember that?
I remember it. I don't know when we had that discussion.
Well, I remember it was when I was looking after a bird, pet sitting in Mount Gravatt East. I was looking after a bird, a Quaker parrot called Persephone.
What is the question again? When?
Do you remember the
conversation?
Or any details about the conversation?
I guess it would have been similar to what I said before, where my demeanor is very reserved and doesn't have emotion behind anything. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on who I'm talking with, and generally I don't show a lot of emotion when I'm in a social environment. But that's one reason where the alcohol, what do they call it?
Social lubricant.
Yeah. So brings out more emotion than normal.
I think the specific situation and the people in the situation seem to have a lot to do with it. You are very expressive when we're on calls with your cousins and we're playing games.
So video games is also, it allows me to be more emotion.
Are you trying
to show more emotion because I'm comfortable in that environment. I like video games, if you didn't know.
I just found that out.
Also being raised in an environment where a lot of my cousins and everyone was into video games, so it was more a social thing, similar to how you have going out and having drinks and stuff. If I had a choice between going out and having drinks or being in a situation where you're playing video games with friends, I would pick the video games. It's a very comfortable situation. That basically explains if I'm in a comfortable situation, I have more emotions.
Or you express more emotions.
Yes.
I don't know if we've gone off track slightly, but I'm happy with where this conversation has gone. That said, I will bring it back to the letter that you wrote to introduce me to your family. Putting that forward, I think it was also very helpful for being proactive about things that could have become issues later on. If someone has found out this information about me, specifically my gender history, people can react very differently if they find out this information from a different source. People see it as me being dishonest if I haven't told them. And that's always a very difficult thing for me because I feel it's a very private thing and I shouldn't have to tell anyone except for my partner. But I don't like hiding. I don't like secrets. I don't like lying. It's very stressful for me to be keeping that to myself and not have it just out in the open.
Yeah.
Where are we up to next?
We didn't even talk about zombie flux.
In the next episode, we'll chat a bit about some of the types of outings or dates we went on.
And?
I don't know what to say.
It involves another conversation.
There'll be another conversation in the next episode. Who would have thought?
Yep.
Me.
Exactly.
You've been listening to Paisal, a true RomCom. I've been Paige. I'm still Paige. And this is...
Jessal. Still, I guess.
Bye.